Hi, Nichols here with another video. Hope you're all having a good day. This is the eve of the total solar eclipse out here. I wanted to talk a little bit today about discipline and why it's important. As an advantage player, discipline means a couple of things. It means only playing a game that you can find an advantage on. That means we're not going to play 6 to 5 blackjack tables. We're not going to play random slot machines just because we're looking for action, right? That's the behavior of an addict. It also means that we're not going to overbet our bankroll. We're not going to push everything out there because we have a high true count, because the count being high, it doesn't mean you're going to win. The other thing it means is grinding out the hours at home and practicing to make sure that you're playing a winning game. Understanding your advantage, knowing what kind of games you want to play, etc. And discipline's really important as an advantage player, because if you don't have discipline, it's very easy to bust your entire bankroll. It's very easy to play a game that you don't have an edge on, and it's very easy to just not be a winning player and have no idea. And that's almost more dangerous than being the average gambler, because if you think you have an advantage, you're going to be playing a lot higher stakes than grandpa betting $2 at first base. And discipline in a lot of ways is what separates a slightly educated ploppy or an average gambler from an advantage player. Now, thinking about that, and I think about what are some ways that you can improve your discipline. What are some ways to train discipline? The first thing off the top of my head, by far my most recommended thing, is going to be to plan out what you're going to do, almost like a business plan. What type of games are you going to play? Are you going to play strictly double deck because you've got a smaller bankroll and you want to lower risk of ruin? Are you going to be playing video poker? And if so, are you only going to play 9-6 jacks or better? Or are you going to play some 8-5 double-double bonus? What conditions need to be met for you to be able to play? And are there any conditions that would change that? What criteria do you have for changing that plan? Whether that's specific promotions, like maybe there's a promotion that gives you an advantage off the top, so you play a game you wouldn't otherwise play. Maybe there's a procedural error on a carnival game that gives you an edge. Are you going to be willing to play that game, and can you play that game if and only if that criteria is met? I'd also plan on what's your bankroll, what's your session roll, etc. Write all these things down and have a plan for when you go in there. How long are you going to spend in there? How much can you afford to lose? Are you going to have a stop win, etc. The other thing I would recommend, and I recommended it last time, is meditation, which can be as simple as, there's other methods for it, but it can be as simple as just sitting down and focusing on your breathing and nothing else. What meditation does is it allows you to stay calm and stoic. It allows you to remain rational and avoid emotional decisions, because it helps you clear your head and think a little bit more clearly. Another thing I would recommend, especially if you're just a hobbyist and advantage play is a hobby of yours, is to find other hobbies and interests. If gambling's your only interest, it's going to be a lot harder for you to walk away a loser or to walk away break even than if you have another hobby or interest that helps kill the time and helps maybe fill that void where you don't really have a lot to do in your spare time. On top of that would be training discipline in other ways, with exercise or any other sort of health habit, one of my favorites is cold showers, like ice cold showers, because it does take a lot of discipline to stand under ice cold water for an extended period of time. A few other things you might try is quitting tobacco or going on a diet. Those things take a lot of discipline and they help train you to think in that way. Another thing that I strongly advise is mentally preparing yourself for any outcome. Something they teach in sports psychology is visualization. So I'm not telling you to visualize every single possible hand and every single possible outcome of that hand. I'm talking about possible outcomes in terms of loss, win, big win, and break even. Visualize how that looks in the casino, visualize how you feel, visualize how you are going to respond. If you have taken a big loss, are you going to go home and hope you do better next time and practice a little more, or are you going to walk off to a slot machine and gamble more money away? If you're breaking even and it's a long grindy session, are you going to be able to grind it out, or are you going to start throwing bets out there that your bankroll or the count don't warrant? So think about things like that. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot else to add. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on the subject. So until next time, see you later, and hope you get dealt a bunch of blackjacks. Bye.